Alright guys, welcome to the channel, and it's devblog season again, and with every devblog season there's always some speculation on what vehicles may be coming to the game, and this time there's some pretty credible speculation that the F-20 Tigershark is coming. So I wanted to talk about that aircraft specifically. There's a lot of lore that goes with the Tigershark. You know, it's said to be one of the best fighter jets that was never purchased. And people often compare it to the F-16 because it was in a head-to-head competition with the F-16. So, of course, there's going to be fanboys in both sides, you know, both camps, the F-16 and the F-20 Tigershark camp. But which plane is better, the Tigershark or the Viper? Well, we're going to get to that, but kind of want to give you some context here. So, the CEO of Northrop sent this to his design team. He said, "Design an aircraft with 80% of the capability of the F-16 at half the cost." While this should have been music to the ears of fiscally conservative would-be customers, it was kind of anything but. This decision, coupled with the export policy restrictions of the time, a little bit of political brinksmanship, and bad marketing would lead Northrop to regret this business decision. They would be chasing the F-16 sales success to the bitter end. So the legend of the Tigershark has grown with time. Northrop was so confident back then that they didn't even take a prototype approach with the F-20 Tigershark. This was largely due to the success of the F-5 program, which sold over 2,400 jets to more than 30 customers worldwide. The initial F-20 aircraft were produced in something called the Production Development Center. So this design was verified through paper engineering studies, and the first F-20 was intended to be a production quality aircraft. Northrop really wanted to sell this aircraft to the US Air Force and gain access to the valuable export market. It competed aggressively from the start. The first F-20 rolled out some 32 months after management gave the green light, 1 month ahead of schedule. The Tigershark had 60% more engine power than the F-5E, and it featured the APG-67 radar, and it was able to use the Sparrow and the AMRAAM and the Sidewinder missile. So the F-20 easily met or exceeded all of Northrop's performance metrics set. They were scramble time, time to mission capable status at 40,000 feet, instantaneous turns and sustained turn rates at different altitudes, deployment of weapon systems, successful target engagement, and successful completion of mission profiles. So the F-20 Tigershark scored well against the F-16. It had a better scramble time, which was largely attributed to its better inertial navigation system. The Tigershark had about 10 to 15% less combat range than the F-16. It also had an inferior combat payload capability, but the F-20 Tigershark was cheaper to operate. Over 1,500 test hours, it had 50% less maintenance per flight hour than the F-16. It was also more reliable and more maintainable than the F-16. Northrop concluded that the F-20 Tigershark was roughly comparable to the F-16 in performance, but for a lower cost over the lifetime of the airplane. But here's where it starts to go sideways for Northrop. Out of the 3 total pre-production aircraft built, 2 of them crashed, killing both test pilots. One of them died to G-lock, and another one died because he couldn't get out of the aircraft in time after it went into an inverted stall. This put a really dark cloud over the Tigershark program, and although the US Air Force and Northrop found that the aircraft was not at fault, there were no equipment failures. Bad luck striking twice was just not a good omen for the program. So many nations, including Jordan, wanted to buy the F-20, but it was contingent upon the US Air Force ordering some or another large buyer ordering the aircraft. You know, if you're not willing to buy an aircraft yourself, then it's kind of like, why would anybody else want to buy it? So Northrop keeps striking out with the F-20. They're not able to sell this jet, and the F-16 is already being upgraded to the C variant. So the next opportunity to try to get a US government entity to buy this was the US Navy, and this was the US Navy's aggressor competition. Northrop tried to sell the Navy 14 F-20s at $11 million apiece, but they got price matched by General Dynamics, even though it was widely believed that General Dynamics was lowballing the price of the F-16C. You know, that aircraft was really about $16 million, so they were taking a loss just to beat Northrop. And they did. The Navy ended up going with the F-16 for their aggressor competition. So the fierce competition continues. Northrop tried to sell the F-20 to the US Air Force at the same time that they're looking at the F-16C. Northrop offered an unsolicited proposal to the US Air Force for 396 F-20s at $15 million per jet with support, and claimed it required, like they said before, 50% less manpower to support it. General Dynamics wanted $18 million per F-16, but they countered at $13.5 million per jet. Again, lowballing Northrop. But this was a downgraded version of the F-16. Some call it the F-16C-. It had a downgraded radar and fire control system. Nevertheless, the US Air Force decided to go with the F-16. So the next and last opportunity for Northrop to sell the F-20 to the US Air Force was really for the air defense fighter competition. This was a winner-take-all competition and kind of like a fly-off, like a dance-off or something, but this was a fly-off. So they competed again, the F-20 against the F-16C, and just like before, the F-20 had faster scramble time and was more reliable. The F-16C had better combat range, better turn performance, could carry heavier payloads. Ironically though, the units responsible for carrying out air defense missions over North America pointed out that neither of these aircraft were suitable for the role anyway, which really required long-range intercept and tracking of low radar cross-section targets. And instead of wasting $4 billion on acquiring a new aircraft, you could just simply upgrade older F-4s for a substantially cheaper price. Neither aircraft was chosen in the end for the air defense fighter role. Mostly the Air National Guard ended up going with F-16As, which they modified for the role. So this was effectively the end for the F-20. Northrop spent $1.2 billion of its own money developing this plane, and overall the plane failed due to marketing failures, political issues. Specifically, some of the factors for its non-selection were inconsistent signals sent to Northrop from the US Air Force on their appetite for the jet. They kind of altered between contempt and praise for the jet. And the US government was just vested in selling F-16s abroad. There was really only room for one. The F-16 was the favorite son. And, the F-16 was kind of like the Ferrari F-40, and the F-20 Tigershark was more of like the Ford Escort. And that was Northrop's design philosophy and marketing. They framed the jet as basic and reliable. So in the end, a sad end, it was just not better than the F-16 in areas where it mattered. Sure, it was more reliable, it was cheaper to operate, it was kind of like a basic Becky kind of plane, but that didn't matter. It could not counter the best that the Soviets were offering at the time. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. Hit that thumbs up if you like the content, and let me know what you think about the F-20. It really never got a chance, so maybe we'll get to see what it can actually do if it had been given the chance in War Thunder, and play that out. I think that'll be pretty cool. Alright guys, see you in the next one.